Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lakshmi. And let me see. Let me make one of you the co-host, just in case any connection goes wrong with me. I will have you as a backup. And there you go. I have made Humera and Aniket as the co-host, guys, just in case I get logged off or something like that, disconnected. When I reconnect, I will just ask you to make me the host, as simple as that. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So let's see. Today, Humera or Kajal, do any of you access? Are any of you able to get online and kind of share your screen and things like that? Anybody ready? How about Humera and Kajal? Just like the way Rahul did yesterday, we'll try to keep it a little interactive and try to do the things. Humera, Kajal, are you there? Guys, can you hear me? Could you please type in the chat window if you can hear me fine? Okay. Thank you, Humera. Just checking that. Okay, great. Thank you. So Humera, okay, do you think you can come online? I'll ask you to come online in a few minutes and do some exercises and things like that. Do you think you're ready? Okay, great. So before we go on, I want you to do a few things, Humera. Try to, let's say, how about this one? First, let me go ahead and do it. I will make you're, I think, already the co-host. Go ahead and share your screen, please. Humera, can you go ahead and share your screen, please? Come online. You can unmute yourself. Okay. And now what I want you to do, Humera, is press the Windows symbol. And when you press the Windows symbol, the Windows thing opens, right? Just type in turn there. I repeat, press the Windows symbol, the key Windows symbol.
Yes.
And type in turn. You have the Windows sync up.
Just a second, I will rejoin. There's some network issue, I believe.
Okay. How about Kajal? Are you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead and share your screen, Kajal.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Visible?
Now just go ahead and type on the Windows, or you just type in there. You type in turn, T-U-R-N,
Sorry?
type in turn, T-U-R-N, and select the turn Windows features on or off. Scroll all the way down and all the way down. And there is the last third one, Windows subsystem for Linux.
I guess your voice is cracking for me.
Oh, is it? One moment. One moment, please.
It's audible now.
Okay. Type or select, check the box, Windows subsystem for Linux.
Subsystem for Linux. That's it? Hello.
Click on OK. Click on OK.
Okay.
They should install the Windows. We should be able to run the Linux on Windows. Kajal.
Yeah.
We require what we will see.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Sorry about that. Oh boy. It will require a reboot, but we'll see without rebooting. We'll try to run it and see. While that is opening, just type in one more time, back to the Windows. Type in store.
Type in?
Store, S-T-O-R-E. Store, Microsoft Store, yeah. Click on that. And now you should get a search window, type in Ubuntu. Search apps, type in Ubuntu, U-B-U-N-U. And Ubuntu on Windows, yeah. Select that, please. And click on that. While this is getting installed, go back to the previous window. Still applying. So we should be able to run our Linux commands here. We'll give it a moment here. And let's see, it's still installed. So let me come back here. And back here. Okay. So while that is coming up, let me come back here. Kajal, I'll shoot a few friendly questions to just keep our time productive and things like that. Do you remember what is Linux?
Hello?
Yeah, do you remember what is Linux?
OS?
Okay. What is the main component of Linux?
No.
Linux kernel, more to be more precise.
Oh, yeah.
It is the heart, it is the skeleton of the operating system. And it acts like a bridge between the software and the hardware components, okay? Can you give me the name of one or two Linux distributions?
Distributions as in the flavors, right?
Yeah.
CentOS
Very good. Anything else?
and I can't remember.
Ubuntu, Red Hat, and
Yeah, Red Hat.
these are the other things. But let's,
Yeah.
by any chance, do you remember what is PuTTY?
Used for connecting to the servers.
Good answer. So short and sweet, it is a software used for connecting to the Linux servers.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, slightly tough question, Kajal. By any chance,
So,
do you remember what is an environmental variable?
environment variable. No.
Variable is it's like to
Navin, your voice is breaking.
the .exe files, the scripts and things like that. Oh, okay. One moment, please. Okay, let's see. Kajal, can you hear me any better now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So let's see. Are you Aniket? Can you make me the host, please?
Just need to reboot your PC.
Aniket, can you make me the host? Thank you, buddy. And Kajal, I'll make you the co-host just in case. Let's see what we have. Okay. So Windows completed the request. Okay, it said don't start. Don't start. Don't restart. Now click on the Ubuntu. Say open. Let's see if we can. Press any key to continue. Okay. Press any key.
Why?
Go to the start window. Okay, do me a favor, Kajal. You try to restart and log back in, please. Sorry about that. This will be like a shortcut, but it will be helpful for you guys.
Okay, sure.
And maybe you'll sign out, rejoin, please. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. So gentlemen, we'll give a minute or two for our friend Kajal to join back. And in the meantime, let me review some of the things and so on. So while Kajal is coming back, this is what the Ubuntu on Windows will look like, guys. And we should be able to type all our Linux commands without really going to the installing the VMs, virtual machines, and things like that. So that is kind of a shortcut, and we'll take a look at the AWS and things like that in the coming of days, guys. Okay. So for some basic Linux commands and shell scripts and things like that, we should be able to write and run right from Windows and things like that. So I will do a clear here, and there is ls-ltr. These are the few commands we have seen yesterday. And let me come back here. Let's see what else we have. Environment variables, path, and things like that. So we looked at a few basic commands. Directories existing commands. Okay. Now, while Kajal is coming back, guys, just a quick and a friendly review. By any chance, do any of you remember what is the use of the variable path or $path? Can anyone of you come online, or can anyone of you type your answer in the chat window, please? What is the variable path or $path used for? What is the use of it? Please try to answer that question, guys. Please try to recall. Okay. So short and sweet, it's environment variable. Very good, Shrishal. What is the advantage of it, or what is the use of it, Shrishal? By any chance, do you remember? It controls the search path. Okay, short and sweet, it controls the search path, which means the location of the programs. That is where in the environment path we are saying. So when we type in a command such as ls, the Linux operating system is looking in the path variable and try to look for the script or the executable file, which is starting with ls, and that is what is getting executed. So it is allowing us to kind of not type in the full path name of the executable or the script files, and with the help of the command names, we are able to execute the programs, is what it is, guys. Okay. Everybody okay with that, guys? Quick yes, please. That's a slightly important one. I want every one of you to at least have a decent idea about that, guys. Okay. And let's see. Let me come back here. I'm waiting for Kajal to come up for the files and things like that. So the listing files, we have looked at the different ways of listing files, file types, directories, and things like that. Then let's see where we are. Working with spaces, okay. We've seen how to work with spaces, and that's where we are, guys, okay. Okay, still waiting for Kajal, but let's see. Okay. So maybe at the end of the session, or maybe if you guys are not working with me in parallel, guys, you guys can also go through this path. Just type in, go to the Windows path, just type in turn, turn. Oops, turn, and select that Windows. I know the chat window. Okay. And if you scroll all the way down, for me, it is the last third one, Windows subsystem for Linux. You need to check that, and you just need to say yes on that. It will install the Linux on Windows, is what it is, guys. Okay. That is going to be like the first step and the second step. And let's say cancel. After that, it may ask you to restart. Please restart your machine. Please restart your machine. Remember that, guys. Okay. After that, just type in store here. St or restore. Go to Microsoft Store. And there it is, guys. I think I have typed in Linux, and the Ubuntu comes here. You can also type in probably Ubuntu directly, Ubuntu, and you can directly install the Ubuntu on Windows or Ubuntu 18.04. I think I downloaded the 22, or I installed the 20.0.4. So either of them, guys. Maybe start with Linux. Let's type in, search, enter. And there is Ubuntu. You select this, and instead of open, it will say get. Once you get, it installs it, and once you install it, you click on open. You can also, you should be also able to find the Ubuntu here, open here, guys. Okay, so that is going to be your Ubuntu. It is the skeleton of the Ubuntu which should allow us to run all the Linux commands and shell scripts and things like that. So we don't have to install the virtual machines and everything. Even if we install them, we will do similar exercises. But they're all heavyweight. They take too much of RAM, too much of storage and things like that. So this is like a shortcut, guys. Okay, everybody with me, guys? So far, quick yes, please. Do you all understand? Great, thank you, guys. So if you are having a chance, wait. Please do that while we are waiting for Kajal. Wonder why Kajal is taking that long. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else. So, gentlemen, ladies, just to keep our time productive, I will shoot a few questions on Python, guys. Just bear with me, and let's dig a little bit deep into it. A few basic questions, guys. What is Python? What is the mantra of Python? It is the engine. Good answer, Shubham. That is a friendly mantra. What about the technical mantra, Shubham? Anybody, what is the technical mantra of Python? It is a high-level programming language. What is T? What is T? Simple answer, guys. What is T? It is numeric data, Shrishel. It is more precisely the numeric. Okay, it's like saying it's green tea. It is more precisely T is what you want to keep in mind. Okay, and what is coffee? It is the textual data. The technical mantra is the strings, guys. Okay, what is the mantra of a dictionary? Mantra of a dictionary, please. It is key values pairs. It is caps and pens. It's cups and labels, or cups and saucers is the friendly mantra. What is the mantra of a tuple? They are immutable. They do not change. We do not change. Shrishel, a slightly tough question, buddy. Can you give me an example of what would be a good design for a tuple? What is an example of a good design for tuple? What are the kind of things that you generally design as a tuple? Because we are saying it is immutable. Slightly tough question, but bear with me. Others feel free to help Shrishel, guys. Okay, so for example, days of a week, Sunday to Saturday, they don't change. Months of a year, January to December, they don't change. Rather than designing it as a list object, design it as tuple object. What is the mantra of an array, guys? Mantra of an array, please. It's a tray of similar, very good. Similar cups, a tray of similar cups, a group of similar data types, guys. Okay, and let's see, what is the mantra of a matrix? Tough question. Mantra of a matrix, please. It's a tray of similar trays. Array is a tray of similar cups. Matrix is a tray of similar trays. What is a data frame, guys? Mantra of a data frame? It is a tray of different trays. A tray in which you can have numerical data or textual data. Matrix is something where you have all of them as numerical data or textual data, but not both of them. Here in data frames, you can have both of them. Everybody with me, guys? Quick yes, please. Okay. Humira, can you do me a favor? Can you check with Kajal why she's taking so long, please? Could you give her a call, or any of you, could you give a call and just try to, I'm just waiting for her. I don't want to get in because I don't want to redo this exercise again because we need to restart the machine. Humira or anybody, could you please? There you go. Think of her, she comes. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's give her a moment. Okay, great. One moment, Kajal. There we go. I have unmuted you. And let's see, I'll make you the co-host. Let's say, yes, you're the co-host. And you can share your screen for a moment, Kajal.
Yeah, sure.
Let's stop the share. Okay. Just go to your start. So you go on Windows. Yeah. Click on that. Pardon me. Let's see. Okay, it's still taking a few moments. It's okay. So Kajal, while that is taking a moment, let me take it back and let me come back here. Let me give a little bit of theory and let me know when you're ready, Kajal.
Sure.
Great. So files and directory permissions. Could you please mute yourself, Kajal? Sorry about that. So files and permissions, guys. Symbolic permissions, numeric or octal permissions, file versus directory permissions, changing permissions, working with the groups, file creation mask. These are some of the tasks that we are generally involved in a Linux world and things like that commonly. Because many times when you work with different kinds of clients who are on the Linux environment, they'll be throwing some of these terms. So it is always a good idea to be familiar, guys. Okay. So let's see what we have here. May come here, choose this. Put this here. And let's see ls-l, if you recall, that is nothing but ls is list. List is long listing. When you do that, what happens, guys, you get something like this. And if you recall yesterday, we discussed about this one. The first three, this part of it is generally, if it is a hyphen, it is a file. If it is a D, okay, so if it's a hyphen, it's a regular file. If this is a D, it's a directory. If it is an L, it is a symbolic link. You can think of a symbolic link, something like this, guys. Visualize for a moment. You have a laptop here. Let's say this is your laptop. And let's say under your C drive, let's put a file here. Let's say there's a file here under C drive for the sake of simplicity. Now what you do is visualize for a moment. This is your desktop. Now what you do is you create a link file. What is a link file, guys? The link file is something where you're saying this is a link to this. What is that? That is a symbolic link. So in other words, in Windows and desktop, when we open this file, it's actually opening this file. That is nothing but a symbolic link. That is like a link. That is like a virtual link or a virtual file. Are you catching it, guys? Quick yes, please. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay, so that is the first part of it, guys. Okay, then just for the sake of simplicity, let's say take the next one. The next three of them are telling you read, write, and execute. That's something I will ask you to manually remember. That is related to the file or the user. These are the read, write, and execute permissions of the user. The next one, let's choose this one. This is the read, write, and execute permission of the group. This is the user, this is the group, is what we say. So this guy has, the group has read and write permissions, but no execute permissions, both the user and the group. So here is the group, the users group, and choose this one. This is the user. So indirectly, this is suggesting the user has read and write permissions. Similarly, the group also has the permissions of read and write. They do not have execute. Hyphen means they don't have. And the last one is other. Let's say choose this one. We'll choose, choose this one, choose this one. This is the other permissions. The rest of the word and things like that is what it is. Then the next component is again, this one, this is the size of the file, how many bytes it is. This is the date and the time component. And this is the name of the file, pretty straightforward, guys, okay? So that's a little bit of Linux permissions, or in other words, to start with. We generally have a read, write, and an execute permissions, guys. R for read, W for write, X for execute. I will ask you to manually remember. And let's see what else we have. Okay, allows the file to be read. Directories allow file names to be read. So short and sweet, read is read, write is write, execute is execute. If we have write permissions, we're able to modify the files. If you execute permission is where you're triggering a file and trying to run a script or maybe an executable and things like that, guys, okay? And let's move on. Then we have UGOA, user group, others and all is what they generally say. So we'll talk about them in a moment, guys. So here is groups. Every user is in at least one group, which means, what shall we say? A group is nothing but a group of users. Users can belong to many groups. So that depends on the company. A user may belong to a HR group. He may also belong to a billing or a finance group. The groups are like the departments you can think. And groups are used to organize the users. There are a group of people who are in the HR department. We don't want them to access any of the finance files or finance related resources. So we create a different group and control their access, control the access of the group of users. The groups command displays a user group. So we'll see that you can also use ID. Okay. So let's see what else we have there. So these are the things that we'll do, guys. So secret decoding, guys. One more time. This is the permissions of the user. This is the permission of the group. This is the permission of the other. UGO and the rest of the others. Other is nothing but the rest of the world is what it is, guys. Okay. So that is referred as a decoder ring. Then chmod, again, a few commands. Chmod means change mode command. We can give read, write, and execute permissions using the change mode. We'll see that is a lab we'll try to perform. And Kajal, are you having any luck bringing that Ubuntu, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me cover a little bit and I'll have it to you. So UGOA stands for user group, others and all. Plus minus equal to is about add, subtract, or set permissions. In other words, we want to add a read permission, subtract a write permission, give them an execute permission. That's what these are the symbols, and that's what we will see, guys. Okay. So there it is a ls-l. And what are we doing here? chmod, G plus W. These are some of the things we will try to execute in a moment, guys. And here is a numeric based permissions. Instead of giving read, write. So notice chmod G plus WX. Instead of giving those things, we can use this numerical codes, octal codes and things like that. So if you want somebody to be given no permissions, we use 0. If you want to give only executable permission, it is 1. Then write is 10. This is write and execute. This is read. So these are the binary values which we can also give. We can give symbolic. This is binary and this is decimal. So here is octal. Octal is 700. Will give you read, write, and execute to the user. 755 will give these users. 664 will give these permissions. These are the different octal. Whatever you're comfortable, you can use them. And here and there, you don't need to by heart them. Just look up on a need-to basis and just try to get a little familiarity, guys. Okay. Not only can we give permissions, specific permissions to the users, but we can also give the permissions to the groups, and we can change the groups and things like that. So let's say here, change group sales dot data. So here is Jason's group. We're changing it to sales, and notice sales. That's what we'll do in a moment. Directory permissions. Again, permissions on a directory can affect the files in the directory. When we give certain permissions to the directory, all the files in that directory are inheriting them. So if some of them have more permissions, then you give the directory, the parent, the less permissions, then there is a chance that the directory the file may end up losing some permissions. If the file permissions look correct, start checking directory permissions and work your way up to the root. So in other words, that is generally the process we follow, guys. Okay. Again, this is nothing but just an example of some of the things that we'll do today. File creation mask. Some determines default permissions, guys. So notice 777 and 666. These are like the mask. Mask means something you wear it on top of your face and things like that. Sets the file creation mask. So let's say these are some of the file creation masks for directories and files. Some numbers, again, a numeric way of giving the permissions. And okay, here and there again we can use them. So this is a binary for read, write for directories and the files, and here is the umask. And what do we do? Let's say umask -s is read, write, and execute for the user, read, write, and execute for the group, and for others I think it is nothing, is what it is, guys. Okay, so we'll try to play around with that in a little bit, guys. Okay. Okay, so let me stop sharing. And let's see, back to you, Kajal. Can you come online, please? Okay, good. I see. Since your name is Kajal, just type in Kajal. And I think it'll ask you for a password. You can give whatever you like, Kajal123 or something like that. Give whatever you like, Kajal. Retype it. Now, just for the sake of discipline, let's increase the font here for a moment. Click on the window and just say change properties, I think. On the window. Yeah. And go to the properties. Let's say go to font. Maybe select 24 and select bold fonts. In between there is a checkbox called bold fonts. Yeah. Click on OK so that we don't have to struggle too much. Okay, there you go. And maximize this window, please. Maximize it. There you go. Okay, there you go. Okay. So now, for the sake of discipline, type in ls pwd. Okay, what is pwd, Kajal?
Present directory, working directory.
So as simple as that. Then again, I think what you can do is you can say ls space slash. Okay, so this is the Linux root. We are actually on Windows, but this is like acting like a Linux file system now. Now type in ls space slash mnt. Mount. Now notice you have a C drive and a D drive. Are you catching it, Kajal?
Yeah.
Okay. Now type in, let's say ls space slash mnt slash C. Go to the C directory. Okay. Now I think I want you to go to the users directory. I repeat, go to the user. You can just use up arrow, bring up the same command. Yeah. Slash users. C slash users. No. C.
Okay.
Users. Users.
U.
Capital U. Remember, Sensitive.
and capital U, right?
Yes. Then I think, what are you logged in? By any chance, do you know? What are you logged in as?
Admin, maybe.
Just click on your start window. I'm sorry.
I'm so
Start
sorry.
icon. It's okay.
Sorry.
Or just open up your Windows Explorer, please. Windows Explorer. You can just say Windows and E, Windows symbol and E, File Explorer, yeah.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is, I just want you to go to one of the directories. Let's say, choose your downloads directory. Okay, so this is this. Now click on that location where you see this PC and downloads.
Yeah.
Copy, or it shows like that. Copy that.
Downloads.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out your username here. If you do a Control Alt Del, Control Alt Delete, please.
Control or delete. Delete, right?
Just once. Control Alt Delete.
Yeah. Username is my name, I guess. Yeah. Sorry?
Got it? Got your username? Is it showing you?
Username is my name, right?
Achal Yadav.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
now come back to
yeah.
and bring up the up arrow. See users, go to Kajal Yadav. No. That's one word. Kajal Yadav is one word.
But okay. Okay.
And it's case sensitive. Keep that in no capitals there.
Okay.
Linux is case, yeah. Okay, so these are all the files. You have some videos and things like. Now, just to bring up the up arrow and do ls-ltr instead of ls. At the beginning, instead of ls space -ltr. What is your present working directory? Oh, acha, we did sorry, ls, right? Bring up your up arrow to one more. Instead of ls, do cd. Oops.
Here.
Instead of ls, type in cd. Go to this directory. Okay. Enter. So now we can do an ls-ltr. If you look at the, let's see, the last file. Let's see. Okay, let me ask you this question, Kajal. Let's see. Intel graphics profiles is at the end. What does that mean?
Sorry?
The file Intel graphics profiles is at the last, at the bottom or the below. Why?
Maybe the last file that we created.
Good. As simple as that. So that is what is India. It is sorting them in a way where it is showing latest files below. Catching it?
Yeah.
The directory here. But let's say, going to the logs directory, logs. CD space logs.
Directly or CD, yeah.
CD. Okay, LSLTR. Okay, so there it is. The last file is deinstall dconfig pm.out. You understand that, Kajal?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is ls-ltr. Now let's see what we do. Let's say come here. Just type in groups, groups. What you get? So Kajal, admin, dial-out, CD-ROM, floppy, these are all the groups that the Windows have created behind the scenes of maybe the Linux. We'll call them as Linux groups, not the Windows groups that exist in your thing. Okay. Now let's say ID space hyphen GN, and let me send this to you so that you don't get confused. ID space hyphen GN. Copy this one. I sent you in the capital GN. Okay, it's like that. All the groups. Let us say, what is your group space Kajal?
Groups. Sorry, yeah.
Okay. So Kajal is in all these groups. Just say group space ADM. I think that is administrator. ADM, no such user. ADM. Okay, try group space. Let's say, just for the sake of discipline, try sudo. No such user. Okay. So groups will ideally give us the names of the groups that are in this one, and groups, I think a group of users generally for a department and things like that, they create the groups. Do you understand, Kasha?
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have. Now, what we do is we'll create a file. Let's say, what is the size of this files? WinProd ocm.log. Okay. There is this file called ocm_clean. So what I want you to do is type in cat space ocm and do a tab.
OCM.
Do a tab, it will show automatically. And again, tab it.
Sorry.
Now, one more time, cat space ocm_c, type in L, Larry, and now do a tab. Okay, now enter. It's 400. So this is what we have inside that file. Do you understand, Kajal?
Yes.
Okay, so what is cat doing?
Concatenating.
It's just displaying whatever is in the file. It is throwing out to the terminal. It is just showing in the terminal. Okay.
Okay.
And let's see now what I want to do is, okay, type in ls space -l space ocm_cl and do a tab.
CL. Okay.
Tab it. Okay, now enter. Now notice hyphen is, notice on the left hand side, the hyphen is telling it is a file. Next, RWX, right, Kajal?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
RWX. I'm sorry, I'm losing your voice, Naveen.
How about others, guys? Are others doing okay on the voice? Gentlemen, ladies, others are doing okay? So let's see. RWX means read, write, and execute permissions.
Read, execute, yeah.
Useful for the group and the rest of the world or the others, which we own. You understand, Kajal?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we'll do, and notice root and root. If you notice, after one there is root and after that there is another root. So the user is root and the group he belongs to is also root.
Okay.
So now what we'll do, let's say for sake of simplicity, chmod plus w saves. Okay. How about this one? Type in chmod space g minus w. So G means group, minus means remove, W, and space OCM underscore CL and do a tab.
Changing permissions. Operation not permitted.
Then what you do is just type in SU, enter. Just type in your password, whatever you entered. Let's see, I'm back here. Back to my thing, let's see. Okay, how about this one? I'll send you this one. Copy this one. Copy this one. And I'm putting it in the chat window. Okay, copy paste that. Go to password. Enter. I'll give you a password. Whatever it is. Retype it.
New password.
Whatever you want to. You can maybe say admin123, something like that. Are you waiting? No, there you go. Okay, retype it. Okay, now password authentication token manipulation error. Passwords do not match. Oh, try it again.
Oh, sorry. Again, sudo.
Just use your up arrow and that should bring up that window.
Yeah.
Today's 1703 underscores. Okay, password updated successfully. So now what you do is just type in history. Okay, these are all the list of commands that you've been typing today. Kajal, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just have a quick look at them, just get a feel of them, and just be familiar with them. And now, bring up your up arrow, history is greater than, space. Just type in hist1.txt. Okay, now let's say -LTR. So notice hist1.txt is file that you created. You understand, Kajal?
Yes.
And just for your understanding and discipline, keep that same mount users Kajal Yadav /logs file. That's where you created the hist1.txt, just for sake of discipline for now. Okay? Okay, Kajal.
Didn't get you.
Just remember the path where you're saving the hist1.txt.
Okay.
Just have an idea about it. At a later point, if you want to have a quick look where that file was, you just remember that it is the logs file. Understand?
Okay.
Okay, and let's see what else I wanted to do. We were groups. So h1.txt, now hist1.txt also has read, write, and execute permissions. So now what we'll do, say chmod space g plus x, g minus x, space g minus x,
G minus X.
space hist1,
Sorry.
just type in tab. It will auto-populate. Enter.
Operation not permitted changing of.
No, just type in SU. Enter. SU means super user. Now, whatever password you just chose, you enter that. Okay. Now, PWD.
Sorry?
PWD. Okay, you're in that directory. One more time, ls ltr. And notice your hist1.txt as read right. Now chmod g minus x.
Chmod G minus X.
Space.
Dot.
Do a tab. Now one more time ls ltr. We still have the execute. Interesting. G minus x. What's up? Still have the read, write, and execute permission. It should have changed to. Bring up that command. Use up arrow. G minus. Instead of x, change it to w. G minus w.
G minus W.
Okay. Now do lsltr. Strange. And why it's not changing? It should change. It should remove it, as simple as that. Okay. Plus G minus W. Let's say, how about this? Let me type in this one.
What is minus W?
G means group, minus means
Groups.
remove,
Yeah.
and W or X means write or execute permission. But
Okay.
let me send you something. Okay, this one. Mod minus, let's say, mod U minus, right, execute. G minus X, comma, so comma, U minus, and the name of the file is hist1.txt. Let me send this one to you. There you go. Okay, try this one, please. LSL.
Minus. Sorry?
LSL listed. Listed, please. LSLTR.
Okay.
Oh, strange. Should remove read write permissions, but I don't know. I don't know if that's Ubuntu or what it is, but let's say, okay, I'll see if I can revisit that one. LSL, sales data, and what are we doing? chmod g plus w minus w we will now. No sales data. Okay, how about let's try this. Type in chmod 400 space hist1.txt. hist1.txt and list that one. Cool. There you go. Now, are you observing or are you noticing it, Kajal? You can notice the permissions are read, no write, viewed for the and for the group and also. So instead of read, write, RWX, you're noticing R-X, R-X, and R-X. Catching it, Kajal?
Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, hyphen means that is not there. What is not there? Write is not there. Write permission is not there for the user, for the group, and also for the rest of the world, others. Catching it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what we do is, let's say chmod, say bring up the same command, and instead of 400, say 500, chmod space 500, hist1.txt.
500 is 1.txt.
List it. So now read, write, okay, the same thing.
Same.
Try chmod 700. And now notice that 700 means it's putting back read, write, and execute. Catching it, Kajal?
Yeah.
So these numbers are ideally earlier the read and write execute should have worked. I don't know why it did not work, but ideally this is how you change the permissions of reading, writing, and executing. Okay, Kajal? Okay. There are different combinations. You just need to be familiar. No, we don't need to by heart these numbers or anything, but just in case somebody types in, your colleagues or something like that, just be familiar, be comfortable with them. Catching it, Kajal? Yeah. How about rest of the others, guys? Are you getting an idea? Could you give me a quick yes, please? Okay. Make directory and let's see what else we have. So let's say we are now notice, Kajal, on the left hand side, highlight that root @del. Okay. So what do you think is that root telling you? Others, please feel free to help Kajal, guys. What do you think is that root telling? Logged in as root user. Okay, Kajal?
Yeah. Yeah.
SU means super user. Super user is root is administrator. Okay? Okay, dear?
Yeah.
Now type in exit.
I'm in Kajal right there.
You are now back to Kajal. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And now let's say what we do. Let's say touch. space, say kajal.txt. Now list it. So notice kajal.txt is the last file which created, and there is something special here, Kajal. By any chance, are you able to catch that? There's something special about kajal.txt.
That the user has read-write permissions.
Anything else? Tough question, don't worry. How about catit? How do you cat it?
Kajal.txt. At
Ask-
place, same Kajal dot.
Do a tab. Save some typing. Okay, so what do you think that means?
New file.
It's a new file, there is nothing inside the file.
Yeah.
You list there is a 0 in the size of the bytes, which means it's an empty file. Okay? Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think she's doing?
Sorry?
What do you think touch is doing?
Touch is making the file that already does not exist.
In other words, touch is creating an
Not
empty file.
okay.
Find help on touch command. What do you do? How do you do?
Help on touch command. Touch space -h.
Okay, do it.
H or help do the same. Missing file. Okay. Hyphen.
Scroll up, please.
DT access.
Catching it, Kajal?
Yeah.
Anytime-
Does not exist is created.
Anytime you need help, this is one way to get help, okay? Kajal.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Then type in man space Kajal. I'm sorry, man space touch.
Description.
Sorry, there is a mute. So this is what touch is. If you type in space, it will go to the next page. You quit the.
Sorry.
Did
Yeah.
you quit?
Yeah.
It's okay. If you are understanding the point, Kajal, help is one way, man is another way to get a feel of the commands and things like that. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Others doing okay, guys? Sai, Shrishal, are you guys following me? Just give me a quick yes, please. Okay. Now what we'll do, Kajal, say mkdir.
Sorry. Your voice is breaking, Naveen. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me type it. Type in this.
Make directory.
Okay, list it. Cool. Notice dir. So what is mkdir?
Making new directory.
Creating a new directory. Okay. If you want to remove the directory, what do you think is the command, Kajal?
rmkdir, no, rmdir something.
Do it, please.
rmdir. Remove same directory.
Yeah. Verified. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's say let's do LSLTR. Okay, let's take a slightly bigger file. How about this one? We have .txt. Why not we do just do a cat on hist1.txt.
hist1.txt.
So it is displaying. Okay. Instead of cat, do head.
Do sorry.
Head of hist1.txt.
Head.
So what do you think you're observing? What do you
Commands.
think plus the top 10 line? It's in that file.
Okay.
Okay. Say head -2 hist1.txt.
Head. Sorry.
-2.
-2. That's it.
Space hist1.txt. Control C. What do you think it is doing?
Okay. Top 2 lines.
Simple as that. Do tail hist1.txt.
List 1.txt.
Tail, not a.
Tail.
Small t.
Tail.
Hist1.
Hist1.
Tablet. So what do you think that is?
The last lines.
Last 10 lines. In Linux it is 10. Python it is 5. Okay. Kajal.
Yeah.
Okay, just for sake of discipline, do a tail -3 hist1.txt.
Tail -3 hist1 txt. Last 3.
Okay, it's the last 3 lines. Catching it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now just for the sake of discipline, history again.
Say. Sorry. history.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the list of commands that you've been trying out and you've been playing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the 28th one, right? Type in exclamation 28.
Exclamation
Symbol 28.
28.
Enter. So now notice it executed the 28th line. Catching it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now again, tail of history.txt.
Tail hist1.txt.
If you just type in H and do a tab, it will auto-populate, Kajal. You don't need to type in.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now
yeah. Sorry.
if you notice earlier they were, now it is increased to 52 lines. Catching it?
Yeah.
So history greater than is called the redirect operator. We'll talk about that. So what it is doing is, whatever is the output of history command, it is writing it, saving it, or redirecting it to that file, history. Okay, Kajal?
Okay.
Output of the history command is being given as input and is being added to the txt file. So now what you do, say more space.
Can you please type in? Didn't get you.
There you go.
Thank you. More hist.
So now notice, it is showing you the first 26 lines, 27 lines. What you do, type in space.
Yeah.
So now what it does is it does a page down. If you have more lines, it will take.
Okay.
Now what you do is type in this one.
Sorry. Okay.
Now type in more. More H. No. I think so type history greater than list one.
Hist1.txt. Okay.
Now, yeah, first do that one. Okay, so this is going to append it. The earlier one is single greater. This is two graters. I'll talk about this later. Now do a more hist1.txt.
More hist1.txt.
Now do a space.
Okay.
Now do a space. 72%. Now do a space. And 95 space. So that is what is more. It is allowing you to look at it page after. Every time you do a space, it is doing a page down. Catching it?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say now do a less, instead of more, do a less space, hist1.txt. Instead of more, type in less.
Less.
Do a space. Space is giving you it's coming down. Okay. So instead of more, we can do less. There is more. There is less. Actually, more less is more of an advanced. is what it is. Let me bring up my one. Yes. And it's okay. It's a cat. Underscore. Okay. So if you do space, what is happening is, so quit this. In less, it is also doing a page down. Less is more advanced than more. As simple as that. Kajal, are you catching it? Yeah. So if you
What
just
is the
say,
difference? I still didn't get it.
just do a space.
Yeah.
Space again. So what it is doing is the next page it is showing you. Page. You do a
27 to 52.
I think what is happening is the line, looking at the same lines here.
Yeah.
Quit, Q. Okay. Now do a less space hyphen help. More. So these are all the possible combinations. One line backward, one line. These are all the things that we can do. You can scroll down. Press return for more. Enter. You get more options. You have a left arrow, up arrow, right arrow, and all these things. And more options will be coming up. When you say return, what is happening? Showing you one line at a time. In more, it will show you a page down. It will allow you to do one line at one time. Catching it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now do a Q and quit out of that. There are a lot of things that less gives you. Less is more is the mantra. Less is advanced more.
Okay.
So let's see less. Next one is a big one. AI editor. What we'll do. So what time is it? Okay. Kajal, let's take a short, maybe 11:28, 5-minute break here. Have a cup of tea or water and come back by 11:35. Okay, Kajal?
Yeah, sure.
You can pause your screen in the meantime. Okay. Kajal, are you back?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So, Kajal, today we'll just type in Python there. Let's see if Python is installed.
Sorry?
Type in Python, please.
Python.
No. In the WSL, in the Ubuntu window.
Okay. That's it.
Enter.
I cannot find it. You mean okay?
Have you installed Python? Anaconda.
Yeah.
You have installed it, huh?
In my laptop. Yeah.
Okay. Open, let's say, open command prompt. Go to just start to type. Go to C in Windows window. Type in CMD.
Didn't get you.
Oh, just in the search window. Type here to search. Type in CMD.
Okay. Okay. Come.
Open the command prompt.
Hmm.
Type in Python here. So looks like you have not configured your. What do we say? Anaconda. No, don't do get. Go to your start.
Okay. Go to my start.
Anaconda. Have you installed Anaconda? Looks like it is there. Find Anaconda. Where is in the Anaconda? Okay.
Yeah.
Anaconda. Bring up Jupyter Notebook, please. Basically, Linux is looking at a different file location. So that's why not a big deal. And let's see what we have here. Give me one moment, please, and let's see where we are. Okay. You come back here. So, Kajal, what I'll do is I will share my screen, and I will ask you. Kajal?
Yeah.
I will ask questions and proceed. I will
Okay.
share my. Okay, what is the mantra of class?
Mantra.
Help Kajal, please.
Like it's a collection of I don't know, objects and attributes.
Keep looking at your chart window.
Okay. Objects with same attributes. Okay.
Okay, so more precisely, it's a blueprint. It's an architectural plan. It's like an architectural plan of house. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is double underscore in it?
Constructor.
Why do you call it constructor?
Creation of objects. Okay.
That the creation of object, it is called the name of constructing the object. Who is calling this one? Who's calling it?
Calling as in
Python.
Class. Python. Okay.
Okay, what is self?
Reference.
Okay, it is called a self-referencing variable. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What are these things?
Attributes.
They're called
Arguments.
argument.
Yeah.
And what is name, age, and salary and password?
They are attributes, I guess.
Good. They're also called instance variables. There is something special about salary and password versus name and age. What do you think is special?
Yeah, I mean, like hide the data or protect the data.
So double underscore means it is private. We are hiding the attributes, we are hiding the data. We cannot access the data or the attributes directly. That is called private. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you still want to access the salary and the password, what do you do?
Don't remember. Dot hyphen. Okay, get password. Yeah.
We use a method, okay?
Yeah.
We say we are encapsulating a method, encapsulating a variable, a private variable inside a method. So what is this process called? What is this concept called? It is called encapsulation. Okay.
Okay.
Raju?
Yeah.
And we are also hiding the data. So it is called information hiding. Okay. So what is Sachin here?
Such an object.
Simple as that. And let's see. Okay, let's say when we are saying p1 dot name equals to such a,
Yeah.
what are we doing? What is happening when we say p1 dot name equals to such a?
Changing Sai to Sachin.
So in other words, we can change the data, we can change the attributes as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say by any chance, do you remember what is import imp and what dot tough question.
Import is importing the data, right?
Okay.
Reload is, I guess, change, like after changing the data you reload to, like, how do I put, when once you modify the data and then reload to get the modified value.
Very good. In other words,
Okay.
we are
Yeah.
importing the code, not the data. Okay. The
Sorry,
code is a,
your voice is breaking.
we are importing the code, not the data.
Yeah.
So code is a group of functions, and a group of functions is a module. Okay.
Group of function is a module. Okay.
So we are importing the module. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say, okay. And let's say, click in here. When we say Python welcome.py, what are we doing there, Kajal?
Welcome.py.
Simple answer.
Welcome.py execution.
As simple as that.
Don't know. Okay.
File that is nothing but the Python script file. So how do we execute the Python script files? You just say Python and you give the name of the file name, Python.
Dot and yeah.
Okay. Then let's see. Come back here. What do you think is dir?
dir directory.
Okay. How about others guys? Keep helping Kajal, please. Similar to man, more
Similar
short.
to manual.
It's like you're getting a brief help. We'll give you a list of functions, modules, and things like that for generally used for modules and packages. Okay, Kajal.
Give all the methods of that package.
Gives you the functions inside that module or package.
Okay, okay.
So what is this doing from math import star means?
From math import star. All the data, like import everything inside math.
Good answer. To be more precise, it is not data, it is the code. It is importing all the code.
Oh, sorry, code.
Okay. What is code? Code is
Yeah.
a group of functions. What is a group of functions? What is a group of functions?
Group of functions. Module.
What is a group of module?
Group of module. Package.
Okay. What is the friendly mantra of a package?
Mantra of package. Toolbox.
Like very good. As simple
Yeah.
as that. And let's see. What is help?
Help.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Help is help.
Yeah, help is help, but okay.
You've just seen help in what is that?
Linux. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What do you think OS stands for?
Your
Simple answer. OS is operating.
Yeah, operating systems.
Like that. What do you think is the difference between single question mark and two question marks?
No, I don't remember.
So a single question mark is help, double question mark is detailed help. Another way to get it.
Okay.
What do you think this is telling you?
OS.file. Source code of the package.
Good. Package or module, okay?
Okay.
Okay. What is the problem here?
Print A. Missing parenthesis. No brackets.
Okay, as simple as that. So what do we call this one?
Syntax error.
So what is that?
Like the mantra. Don't remember.
Every time I say mantra, you're double checking. Is it mantra?
Yeah.
Is it?
No,
It's
I
called
mean, yeah. Exception. Okay.
Go ahead. You're saying something. What was the joke?
No, nothing.
You don't have any jokes?
No, it was not a joke. I mean, mantras can be different for different people, right? So I get confused. Like,
So these are all Python mantras. These are not Vishnu Sahasranama mantras or Shiva mantras. These are Python mantras. Okay.
yeah.
What is Python?
Language.
a high-level programming language,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this is different from Vishnu and Shiva, isn't it?
Yeah.
Welcome to Python. What is listdir? Still thinking? Simple answer. List of files. It is giving a list.
List. Yeah.
That's, what is it? What is listdir in Linux?
Sorry.
What is list in Linux?
List in Linux ls. List
that.
of yeah.
Okay. So what is the problem here?
Where and equals to 1. Different data types, I guess.
In other words, there is no problem when a equals to 1, but there is a problem when and equals to 1 or equals to 1. If you notice and or in slightly dark green and bold, which means these are reserved keywords in Python programming language. Python is using
Yeah.
these variables. So it is telling you, it is not allowing you to use variables objects, right? Catching it?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the mantra of an object? What is the mantra of an object?
Object.
It is a cup.
Okay.
What do you think? What kind of an object is stats here?
Stats is statistics. Mhm.
Stats is a
Data
data frame.
frame. Yeah.
What do you think this 4:8 is doing?
4:8 is from 4 to the 7th
Good answer.
data.
It's a mantra.
Yeah.
When you see 4:8, what is the mantra?
Mantra.
So the left-hand side index is inclusive, right-hand
Inclusive
side.
and right is exclusive. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say, what is this doing?
4:8 country name and country code. It's giving 4th to 8th output of 2 columns, I guess.
Okay. Now let's say, scroll up a little bit. What is head?
Start.
Top 5. Top 5
Top
rows.
5. Okay.
I repeat, in Linux it is top 10. Okay.
Okay.
What do you think is describe?
Describe. Detailed description.
Okay. It is the basic statistics.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what is birth rate definition?
No.
Okay. So the minimum birth rate is for every 1,000 people in a country, how many children are being born? In some countries, there are only 7 children who are born for every 1,000 people. In some countries, 49 children are being born for every 1,000 people. On an average, 21 children are being born for every 1,000 people. Can you tell me why birth rate is very less in some countries versus in some countries the birth rate is very high? Why are people giving more children to birth to more children in some countries and less children in some countries. Thoughts? Kajal, any thoughts? Try to help Kajal, guys. Not much, yeah?
No.
Okay, not a problem. Birth rate depends on many things. Many needs, requirements, education, and things like that. As simple as Kajal, okay? So what is this one?
Yeah.
This is when we look at the data, we try to understand it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say come back here. And this Indian cricket. Okay. I'll copy this one. Student, and let's say let's scroll all the way down. Now take a look at this one. We'll make the password as private. Now let's say Sachin. It is Sachin equals to student. And say now here's a slightly tough question, Kajal, get ready.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting it. What is the problem? What do you think is the problem?
Sachin equals to student. There's no, like, it's no argument provided.
Where should we give the arguments?
Sorry.
Where should we give the arguments?
Students and then a name, self dot name.
So in other words, here is password, let's say Tendulkar is the password, comma, what's his name? His name is, let us say, let's say, we'll keep this. Tendulkar is, then let's say, here is the password, let's say, cricket is the password. So there is, similarly, we'll also create another. Dhoni. Okay. Is this password? Dhoni. So what is Dhoni here?
Sorry.
What is Sachin and Dhoni?
Objects.
Okay. Okay. Sachin dot name, we get Tendulkar, but Sachin dot, we're getting another Y.
Protect private.
Good answer. They are
To
private.
get password. Yeah.
We should get password. Now, there's a subtle difference between name, password, and institute name. What is the difference? What do you think is the difference? Tough question.
Between
Institute name and the name.
institute name and name. Which name?
Okay.
Sorry.
Here is name. And here is institute. What is the difference? Name is defined inside the constructor. Institute name is defined outside the constructor, right?
Yeah.
So you say Sachin.name, you'll get Dhoni, I'm sorry, Tendulkar, say Dhoni name, you'll get Mahendra. So name is different for every person, but take a look at this. Here is Sachin dot institute name, you get citing. Say Dhoni dot institute name, you get citing. In other words, institute name is, in other words, it's like their school name, college name, or institute name is same. So for different objects, if you have the same data, what do? You define them outside the constructor. Something defined outside the constructor is called class variable. Password and name are called instance variables, whereas this one is called class variable. Why? You generally use class. So what is the name of the class? Student. So take a look at this. Student institute name. You get some. Are you with me, Kajal?
Yeah.
So this is called class variable. Something which is common to all the objects is called class variable. That is something I will ask you to manually remember. Okay. As simple as that. It's just a oriented concept, something to be kept in mind and things like that. So take a look at this. The same example. Indian cricket team. Country name, whether you are Sachin or Dhoni, your country name is same. You may use a different bat, a different ball, different name, but the country name is same. So what you do is you define the country name
Outside the class, outside the function.
as simple as that. Okay, so now take a look at this one. Just playing just a little here. So here is Indian cricket team, country name is India. Now there is something slightly different here. Kajal, can you identify what is something slightly different? It's a silly and a stupid question, but it will be helpful.
Define self. Print.
In other words, self to, instead of self, we are saying self to, that is what is different. Here, the name is self to, but always the first variable will act like a self reference. You can call it, you can give it your own name. The same thing, let's say, so self to, whatever you do, Rajan, you should use this Kajal.
Can't hear you, Naveen.
Oh, you cannot hear me? How about others? Can others hear me? Or is it Rahul? Can you hear me, buddy? Voice is breaking. Oh, sorry about that. One moment, guys. Okay. Shrishej, Rahul, is that any better, guys? Kajal, is that any better? Okay,
Yes.
sorry about that. Great, thank you. Sorry. Let's see, come back here. Let's see where we were. Okay. So, Kajal, what I was trying to convey, instead of self, you can give self to. Instead of self to, you can give Kajal. The first argument is generally referred as self-referencing variable. Are you with me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now notice this one. If I run this one, no problem. But let's say, copy this one. Is this here? Is it here? Now, say, let's say self here and say Kajal. I thought it will complain. But let's say Indian cricketing. Let's say it is Sachin. Let's say this will work. Notice it. So in the constructor, I said self and I said Kajal here. So it is complaining, hey, I don't know what is Kajal. Are you catching it, Kajal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, that is something. And let's say, so the same thing again, take a look at this, guys. Class cricket player. So here is the constructor. So if I run it, no problem. Let's say here's Sachin. Let's go here. Copy this one. Let's run it. And let's see what is happening here. Why is it giving? Kajal is not defined. Let me see. Here's Lavanya, right? Okay, run this, run this. Okay, there you go. Still it is thinking Kajal is not defined. Why? Oh, sorry, this is cricket player. I'm creating an object of Indian cricket team. So here is cricket player. Let's run it. Now notice, here instead of self, we have Lavanya, Lavanya, Lavanya. In other words, Lavanya is acting as a self in the scope of this function or method. To be more precise, Lavanya is acting as self-referencing variable in the scope of this method. And here, Priya is acting as a self-referencing variable in the scope of this method. So if you say Sachin dot play, notice no problem. It is treating Priya as self. That is, so in other words, in every method, your first argument, which is generally self, can be different. But you can give a different name if you'd like to. But generally in a professional world, we don't do that. Your architects, your senior resources will not allow you different kinds of naming conventions. They generally keep it as self. It is something to be familiar and aware of. Kajal, are you with me? Quick yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what else we have. Toothbrush, a toothbrush, and that is private. We have already looked at it. Encapsulation, we looked at it. Get password. Okay, give me a bat. Okay, one more time, little bit of encapsulation. So take a look at this. Class cricket player, there's a constructor. Oops. Sorry about that. Here's a cricket player, there's a constructor. Notice bat is private, name is public. Give me your bat, change your bat are two methods. And let's also create Sachin is an object. So Sachin is an object. What do? You say Sachin, if you want the bat, you say, give me your bat. He says, I have an MRF bat. So what are we doing? We are not accessing the private variable. We are using a method. You don't need to say get bat. the naming, you can give whatever is meaningful to you. You don't always have to say get bat. Change your bat. What is special about change your bat is, take a look at this. If you say Sachin dot change your bat, and let's say we want to change it to, let's say, Sunriches, and then say Sachin dot give me a bat. Now you get Sunriches. We changed this bat from MRF to Sunriches. So what is this? This is called a getter. This is called a setter in a programming or an object-oriented world. Again, another thing you need to keep in mind. What is it? It is nothing but encapsulation. The mantra of encapsulation is getters and setters. What are we doing? If you want to change the data or an attribute, we are using method that is called encapsulation. What names you give is up to you. If it is returning it, that is called a getter. If it is changing it, that is called a setter. Kajal, are you catching it?
Yes.
Okay, as simple as that, guys. Okay, so the same thing. So notice, so what is institute name here, Kajal? What did we say is institute name?
A class variable.
Good answer. Why do we call it a class variable?
Because it is outside the function.
It is common to all the students. Whether you say
Yeah.
here is a student Anurag and here is a student Shubhangi. No matter which student you ask, they're giving you the same institute name, school name, college name. So when something is same or common, we call that as a class variable. We design that as a class variable. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What is this kind of an argument? These two kinds of arguments, Kajal? Any idea what is this kind of these two kinds of arguments called?
Kind.
Okay, so notice this is called positional argument. Whatever is in the first position is being mapped to N1. Whatever is in the second position is being mapped.
Yeah.
So what is special when I just give a 10 here, Kajal?
It goes to the first argument.
And the second one?
Second one doesn't. I don't know.
It's taken as 20.
630. It is already taken 20. Yeah.
In other words, that is called default argument. Okay.
Okay.
If you're hard coding it, it's called the default value. That argument is called a default argument. The first one is a position argument. The second one is the default argument. And if you don't give anything for the second one, the whatever is the default value is taken. That is to be kept in mind. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at it. Okay. Now notice it gives you an error or it gives you an error. Can you take a guess what is the problem here? It's a slightly tough question.
We are not passing any value for N2 and N3.
They're not passing. Okay, how about this one? Let's say, how about now? It's a tough question. Okay, sorry about that. So in other words, the default argument should always be right-hand side. We should not have the default arguments in the left-hand side. Notice here, the default argument is on the right-hand side. It is not on the left-hand side. As simple as that. That is something that's more of a Python syntax we need to keep in mind and remember. Cool?
Yeah.
Now notice this one also giving us the default argument is on the left hand side of the position argument. The same thing you rewrite. Notice no problem. It always has to be on the right hand side of all the position arguments. Catching it, Kajal?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Let's see alpha, beta, and gamma. So what you do with your A, B, C, alpha, beta, gamma is up to you. Whether you will sum it, whether you multiply it is up to you. Cool. Now take a look at this. Alpha, beta, gamma, it is a function. Another tough one, Kajal. Sorry for asking so many questions. But can you take what is different here, Kajal?
Assigning the value and sums and total. Printing total, assigning the value already, and then sum, calling the function.
Good answer. So
And
more
then storing that to
precisely,
total. Yeah.
so more precisely, let's say I will copy this one and paste it here. See. Earlier, what we are doing is in default arguments, we'll say alpha equals to 1, let's say beta equals to 2, and let's say gamma 3. So what are these? Here we are specifying at the time of declaring the function. Whereas when we are saying gamma equals to 10 alpha beta, at the time of calling the function, you're passing the values. You are not hard coding or you're not putting the default values here. Is the first point. The second point is the order is alpha, beta, and gamma. Whereas at the time of calling the function, gamma, alpha, and beta, we change the order in which we are calling the function. If we change the order like that, we have to explicitly say, hey, this is mapping to gamma, this is mapping to beta and alpha. This is called keyword arguments. If you change the order, you need to give it the full name. Are you catching it, Kajal?
Yeah.
Is it a confident yes or just yeah? Is it a good
Yeah,
yes or
fine.
good yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So the same thing. So in other words, the gamma, the 10 will be put into this one, the 30 will be put into this one, the beta as well. But let's say try this one. Take a look at this. Let's say copy this one. And let's say we say 40. See, this works. So what is happening is position argument follows the keyword argument. Okay, so it's again saying, hey, you cannot have two of them, another one not there. You have to give all the three of them if you're giving a keyword argument. We did not give beta here. For beta, we have just given 40. That is complaining. It's not taking. Catching it, Ashil?
Yes.
Slightly leave on there. See what else we have. Okay, the same thing just to do. Let's see now. Let's see what else we have. What DIR, Kajal? By any chance, do you know? Do you remember?
What?
What is CHDIR?
CHDIR. C. Current working directory.
Okay. As simple as that. It's nothing but what this is given here. It's nothing but CD in Linux.
Okay.
Okay. So now take a look at this. Come down here. Say ls, notice. There it is. It's just acting like a Linux list command. It's giving you a list of all the files and directories. Cool. If it's a directory, it's showing you. Usually in a Jupyter, if you want to execute a Linux command, you should say exclamation ls. There it is. That is a pure ls. Let's try this one. exclamation ls-ltr. Let's see if this works. There you go. It's executing a Linux command. And generally, what is it? The last file, welcome NSC. That is the last file we created. Cool?
Yeah.
Okay, just something to be aware of. Now, let's say increasing the complexity a little bit, going a little bit deep into the Python again, just work with me. So try is a file. We open a file, we write Mera Bharat Maha. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's go back and look at this file first. We're in C drive. Let's go to C drive. Let's look at SciPython. And let's see what do we have here. We are looking at a file called test file. Oops. Let's see, here is test file 2. Let's right click this. It's ridiculous. Here is test file. Here it is. Now, what do we do? Let's say, oops. So we'll open the file, test file. What we'll do is open the file, copy this one, and run this one here. Okay, you can mute yourself, Joseph.
Sure.
Thank you. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to be opening a file. We're going to write something. We already have, what do we have? We have Mera Bharat Mahan here. Let's say, now take a look at this. We'll say, instead of Mera, we'll say Hamara. Hamara, Bharat Mahan. We'll say Hamara. And open is a function which is going to open that file. It will give you a file object. So now we are dealing a little bit with files and things like that, guys. Just bear with me. So now you open a file. W means write permission. You're giving a write permission, so we are able to write it. We'll execute this one first. Let's say we execute this one. Jupyter action. Let's run it. So now it gives you 22. And let's come back to here. And if you go to this file, 22. Oh, what happened? This file, right? Okay. Nothing is there. Let's say open test.txt. Go to test file. Let's say close this one. Again, open test file. It didn't write it. We've actually asked it to write it, but it didn't write it. I think we have to ideally close it. So in other words, let's say f.close, or let's say close of f. Correct. What is that? Test file. Back to here. F.close, sorry. So here close, say f.close, file object.close. Now come back here. Let's go back to test file. There is Hamara Bharat Maha. Okay. So one more time, just for sake of discipline. Now I have Hamara Bharat Maha. We will come back here. We will rerun this one. We'll change that to Mera Bharat Maha. And again, Mera Bharat Maha. Let's run it. Now, if you come back here, it says reloaded, and there is Mera Bharat Maha. So what is happening is, what is open? Open is opening the file. This file. We are opening with the write permission, which means we are asking Python, I want to write something, allow me to write it. If you say W, you're taking the permission from the Python to allow you to modify it. Write is modify. And you're writing Mera Bharat Mahan, you can write whatever you want. At the end, we need to close it. We need to tell Python, hey, I'm done, please close it. Is something mandatory, guys. Everybody with me so far? Quick yes, please. Kajal, you can keep typing in yes, please, just to stick with you so that others are slightly focused. We'll keep you as a reference point today. So now the same thing, notice this. We'll put it in this one. test it, write it, and this time we'll say, first we had Hamara Bharat. Okay, Mera Bharat. We'll say Hamara Bharat here, and Mera Bharat in the next line. And now we'll put an except is exception. If there is any problem, then you could not find the file or read the data. And let's say else. Now here's a slightly deep one, guys. We generally use else with a, what is that one, with an if block. Whereas here we are using an else with a try block. That is what is slightly different here. So let's see what happens here. Let's execute this one like this. Let's paste it here. First, we will not use an else. We'll just write it with except. So copy this one. Let's run it. So now there is no problem. It opened the file. And if you come back here, go to test.txt. Let's say here's test. And nothing is written. Why is nothing is written? That is because we did not close it, which means the closing does not complete. So what we'll do back here, one more time we'll do this. Finally, we say f dot close. Now we'll copy this one. And if you recall, finally is always getting called, whether there is an error or not. So let's write it. And we've run that. One more time, come back here. Here's test file. Nothing is written. Strange. Okay. How about this one, guys? I will take this f dot close. Put this here. Let's, oh, sorry. Need to say something. Okay. Run it. Back here. Now it has written. Hamara Bharat and Mera Bharat. So in other words, whenever we close, whenever you open a file, we need to remember that we need to close it. If you don't close it, what is happening is Python behind the scenes for a moment, think of it as if it is still waiting. It opened it and it's still not done. It's still waiting is what is happening. So here is the second scenario. Here what I'm trying to show is if you open it and you don't close it, it is not writing. It's still waiting. It is not even an error, but Python is still thinking. So what you do, if you do a close, it is completing the operation. Every open should have a close associated with it is something which you need to keep in mind. Especially when you're dealing with scripting and things like that. You open a lot of files, you close the files, you always need to explicitly close it. Everybody with me, quick yes please. Kajal. Generally, what is a good practice, guys? You close it in the finally. But here the scope of f is different, but we'll come back to that later. But let's say, now take a look at this one. We'll say f dot close here. F dot close. And now if you take a look at, go to test file. Notice we have test file. Let's come back here. We will say, here is Kajal's file. And notice this, we'll save it. I'm going to come here, copy this one. And notice we'll execute this. Okay, sometimes the tab gets little. Copy this one, back here, I'll paste this here, back here. I'm going to execute this one more time. Shift enter. So no problem. Now if you come back here, go to Kajal, right? So let's say I'm going to go to test file and I'll select this, do a refresh. Let's look for Kajal file. Okay, here's Kajal's file. Hamara Bharat and Mera Bharat are there. In other words, what I'm trying to convey is Kajal's file, I did not have it. If you do not have it, what Python is doing is when you open in a write permission, it is creating the file and it is allowing you to write what is Hamara Bharat and Mera Bharat. Catching it, guys? Kajal, yes, please. So close this one. And let's say come back here. Aniket or Kajal, can you make me the host, please? Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Sudden pop cut here. Let me share my screen. Okay, sorry once again. And let's see what I was trying to do, guys. Okay. So in other words, Kajal, I hope you got it. If the file is not there, the file is getting created. That's what the function open is trying. When we are dealing with files and things like that, we use the function open. Okay. Okay. So let's see back here. And what else we have? Okay. Now let's see. F.close is what I've given here else. Let me try this one, guys. Ideally, the right place to put this is, let's say, F.close. Tab it. Get rid of this. Tab it. Shift tab. I'm going to tab them, give them a tab, give the tab here. I'm just aligning the tabs here for the special characters. But let's say copy this one. Let's run this one. Take a look at this. So now something is happening here, guys. Back here. Back here. Back here. Choose this one. Choose this one. Okay. So take a look at this, guys. What is happening is, it looks like these 4 lines have been working. We've been already looking at this, which is a good one. But what is something slightly different is, from here, it is going ahead and calling the else. In other words, there is no error. When there is no error, it is going ahead and going into the else block is slightly something different. But let's see if we can do something which will give us an error. Say reload it. Okay, test file. Got reloaded. Now let's say test file. Printer could not write the data. So now take a look at this, guys. Here is, we're going to open the file in what is called an R mode. R mode is called a read mode. When you are asking, when you're telling Python that you just want to read the file and you're trying to write it, that is not a correct operation. That is not a right operation. So what will happen? An exception will be called. When an exception will be called, it should go here. Will it go into the else or not is what we need to check. So in other words, take a look at this. Let's say, copy this one. Come back here. Let's see. So now, take a look at this, guys. What is happening is, error could not write data. And now what is happening is, sorry about that, guys. So when there is an error, the else is not getting called or triggered. That is what is slightly different in Python. In other words, in Java and .NET, you don't have a combination of try and else. And this is used sometimes. And that is what we need to be aware of. When there is an error, else is not getting called. It is not going into the else. If there is no error, then it is going into the else block. Is something to be kept in mind. Everybody catching that, guys? Kajal, quick yes, please. It's a little bit of programming related stuff, which I will ask you to be aware of and things like that. Okay. So what is the problem? You're saying open the file in read mode. Remember, another thing manually you need to keep in mind. If you tell Python, I want to read it, and then you're trying to write it, then what will happen is the exception will get called. If exception is getting called, else will not get called, is what it is. And then you're going into the global scope. So this print should get called. F is an object which, let's see, if it is accessible here, let's see if it gives an error. Generally, you close it here only. You have to close it. So the global scope is getting called. So error is getting printed, which is this part. And then test to see if the line prints is nothing but the global. So what happened is, since there is an error, this is not getting called is another thing. One more time, repeating the same thing. Sorry about that. So now something slightly different, guys. We're trying to read the file. We're telling the Python that we want to read it and you're trying to write it. So what will happen? We say raise exception. Already, if it is going to the next block, which means an exception is raised. In that we are raising an exception. So if you raise an exception, let us see what happens. Okay, so when you raise an exception, what is happening is another exception is getting called here. So if you come down, notice what is this? That's an exception. Now what is happening? Neither is this getting printed, nor is this getting printed. It is exiting the application. It is exiting this cell. That is why it is giving this complex error message. That's a slightly deep one, slightly tough one, guys. But let me see if I can simplify it a little further. So raise exception, that's what it will do. And we have seen this one. Okay, I'll leave it there. Don't worry much about the raise exception. So one more time, you're saying read, but you're trying to write, that is wrong. That is something I want you to manually remember. So what will happen? It will go into the exception. Whether there is an exception or no, the finally will get called. Finally is always getting called. So if you try to run this one, so there was an error and the finally is getting called. Okay, the same thing, if you say right now, there is no exception, but finally will also get called. So there is no exception and it is also, in other words, short and sweet, one more time, finally is always getting called. Quick yes, please. So let's say increasing the complexity here. Let's see if we can simplify this. Notice we're trying to open the file and write it, no problem. If there is an exception, go here. But what we are doing is here, because we are opening in a write mode, there is no exception. So it will go into the else. It will print this. And again, you're trying to write it. No problem. I don't see any problem. So what will happen? Again, it will go. So I don't think there is any problem here, guys. So this should work fine. I'm just complicating it with a few nested blocks and things like that. So content written successfully. So if there is an exception here, which means the same thing. Let's see if I have another. I will paste it here. So ideally, if you put a read operation here, from here it will go into the accept, which we have seen. And let's say now what I'll do is you try to read that again. Okay, as simple as that, guys. I don't think I need this one. That will be the same point, which is if you have a read here, then definitely an exception is getting called. And I'm just, I think, modified a little bit here and there, added a few blocks there, so I don't need to worry. But let's see one more time. Now take a look at this, guys. Increasing the complexity. Last one for today. Before you say you're telling Python, hey, I want to write something. You wrote Mera Bharat, and instead of Mera Shahrukh, Hamara Bharat. Again, you're telling Python, I want to write it, and you're writing this one. What should we do? We'll say app.close. So let's run this. Let's see if you are asking Python 2 times to write. Let's see what happens. Copy this one. Let's run it. Content written successfully 3, which means no problem. It did not give any problem. Let's see if we go. Looks like it has also written it successfully. Hamara Bharat. What did I do? Oh, Mera Bharat Mahan. This much of it has been somewhere up to here has been replaced by this one. That is strange. Okay. So it opened the stream and then it has first written it, then up to here it has just written Hamara Bharat. That is why it is appearing like that. Hamara, or in other words, short and sweet without much confusion. I'll say, here is Mera Bharat. Oh, pardon me. Now we'll run this one. Now if you come back here, reload it, there is Hamara Bharat. So in other words, first time when you say write, ideally, let's say the same thing, just to give you a feel of it, guys. Let's say come back here, paste it here. If you say write this, but you comment this one, you don't open it again. Notice what will happen. If you run this one, come back here, say yes, go to test file. Notice Mera Bharat and Hamara Bharat both are written. If you try to open it, it is writing in the same line. If you don't need to open it again, that is what I'm trying to convey. Catching the point is? Okay. So what we'll do is, for today, I'll stop it here. Tomorrow, would you guys be okay if I start 1 hour late, guys? I will take 11 to 2 instead of 10 to 1 tomorrow, due to some personal things and things like that. Is everybody okay with that? Can you give me a quick yes, or do you have any problem? Let's see. Tomorrow is holiday. Okay. Tomorrow is holy. I know that. Let's say. How about okay, Aniket? Can you kind of confirm? Is tomorrow is holiday? Okay. I'm just thinking if you want me to take a session tomorrow or no, and things like that. Can you give me a yes or no, guys? Aniket, maybe you can have a quick word. Okay, the answer is no. Oh, okay, everybody is no. Okay, then we'll take it easy for tomorrow. Just update your own team members and just give a quick update to also, guys. So that we are not out of sync or out of match. We all have to be in loop. Quick yes, please. Okay, as simple as that. Thank you, Rahul. So, gentlemen, ladies, you guys have a good Holi. Stay safe and keep learning and have a good festival, guys. And we'll try to meet next Monday and continue the journey from there. Everybody okay with that? Okay, to say final goodbye. You guys have a good Holi and a good weekend, guys. Great. Thank you, guys. If time permits, please try to practice, guys. One more time. Happy Holi and happy weekend. And we'll continue on Monday and go from there. Thank you again. Signing off for today. Thank you and bye for now. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shrisha. Cheers. Thank you, buddy. Take care. Bye now.